Dr. Lattimer, small clinic versus corporate. This is a question from Magnus_Bain333. I'm a fresh graduate and still discovering my place in the field. I'm wondering, what are the pros and cons of working for a small clinic versus a corporate clinic, and which will be better for building my career?
So, you're still gonna have to look at the individual clinics, right? So there are pros and cons to both private and to corporate clinics. Ultimately, what's going to determine how your clinical experience is going to be who your practice manager is, because like there's going to be some level of autonomy at like the practice level, even for corporate medicine. And to look at your contract, okay, because each contract is going to be very different. A corporate practice is probably going to be able to offer you more. They're probably going to be able to offer you higher pay. They're probably going to be able to offer you more PTO, and just more money towards CE and like all of that, versus a private practice, which is going to have a little bit more limited funds because they don't have overarching company that is providing for them. But in general, things to look out for would be like, is there negative accrual? Don't ever accept an offer if they say negative accrual, because you will lose money in the end. Look at your work-life balance. Most private practices, if they're going to be open on weekends, you're probably going to be on call a little bit just because they need to have you there. And look at how they schedule. So in a lot of corporate facilities, they're trying to get the maximum amount that they can, right? They want that bottom line. And there's a good chance that your work-life balance might be compromised. I think when I was in corporate practice, there was a time when I was working 6 out of 7 days a week, which it's very hard to manage that. But ultimately, like, your experience is going to be shaped kind of at the individual level of the clinic. So I think it's important to shadow and do like working interviews at both and ask the important questions about like what is work-life balance like there? What is the amount of PTO that they get? And then I would also sneakily ask around, like, do people get penalized for taking that PTO? Because they might offer you PTO, but that doesn't mean that they expect you to take it, because there are a lot of places that will do that. And then also looking at like sick days, because there are as well a lot of clinics, especially in private or not private practice, but in corporate medicine, that will say they offer all this PTO, but like for your sick days, they also expect you to take off your PTO time instead of having like designated sick days. So it's very much clinic dependent. You'll get a lot out of both. It just depends on what your goal is.